your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat, Shell, and Dante, the dark child. Drop the stats on them. Drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby. Let's get it on.
Hey fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk. The roster is set, training camp is over. All there is to do is get ready for the first week challenge against the Green Bay Packers. Finally, football is here. Man, what's going on, Pat? We got 53 men. Ross, we got 53 men on the roster. The roster is solidified. And I want to get everyone's opinion, and including yours, Pat, on how you feel about this year's team, whether or not it is as talented as last year's team coming out of training camp. And we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about some surprising cuts, some not so surprising cuts, some surprising people that wound up on the roster. We'll talk about all of that in just a little bit. How's it going, Pat?
It's going good. It's going good, Dark Knight. What's going on, Eagles family out there? I'm just excited, man. Football is here. in a week's time, we be sitting here. You know, I'm taking off Friday to watch the game. Let's go.
Yeah, it feels like I take off. Well, this one calls for it because our game is on Friday. First game of the season is on a Friday night. Hopefully, I haven't gotten, this will be in our production meeting. I tried to get a heartbeat on what you guys wanted to do, but we'll talk about it in the production meeting. But we may be appearing live at, I don't want to put it out there until I get everybody's approval first, but we may be live on the first night of the season. And that's a good night to be live. I don't like to do a lot of live appearances on primetime games because they're usually on a Sunday night or a Thursday night where you have to go to work to the next day. So I don't always like to do that. But this one is a Friday. It's the opening of the season. Our team is in Brazil, and it's on a Friday. So there's no excuses. We don't have to get up early the next morning. And it just seems like a prime time to do an appearance. But we'll talk about it in the production meeting. And once we do, I'll have the word out there ASAP to let you guys know where you can come and check us out live as we usher in the new season, if that's what we're going to do. But without further ado, Pat, let's get this show on the road so we can talk about this 53-man roster. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited. I don't know. I'm more excited about the beginning of the season. We'll get into the players and whether I'm excited about that. Let's start it off. All right, so you guys are listening to, watching Eagles Talk, the most unique, when I say unique, there's no other Eagles coverage show quite like ours. The most unique Eagles coverage show around that's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. There's no broadcast journalists here. We're just doing it out of the love that we have, the green that we bleed for our Philadelphia Eagles. And here on Eagles Talk, we'd like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So Pat has a can of Corona and the old reliable, faithful Jameson Irish whiskey. Me, I've stepped my game up today. It's not, we're going to have to watch it. I hope to make it through the whole show, but I'm not drinking the customary apple juice. I got a mixer, so I have a cranberry apple juice mix. So it's going to be an exciting night for me tonight. So I have a cranberry apple juice mix. That's what I'm doing. You guys, let me know what you're doing out there. And here we go. Down the hats to our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
All right, so we're listening to the first quarter. I was trying to get a copy of the 53-man roster. Like I came across one online where it was like an 8x5 sheet of paper, and they had all the positions and all that, where I can look at it in one shot. But I don't have that, and I don't have an intern to find it for me. So, but I do have a list of the 53-man roster, and we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it position by position, and some things are not a surprise, and then some things are a mild surprise. So,
Yeah.
let us start with our quarterbacks, which is no surprise there, right? That this should be really simple. Oh, you know what? Before I even go into that, I am so rude. I introduced Pat, my host, but I didn't introduce my co-host, and those are you that's in the chat room. Oh, am I going? Can you hear me, Pat?
I definitely can hear you.
Okay, I don't know where's my camera at? I don't see where my camera is. But anyway, all right, it's not going to mess up the audio.
You're frozen. Yeah, but you're still there. I can still hear you, and yeah, I'm still ready for you to go.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring you guys the third co-host of the evening. That's you guys that are in the chat room. And the first person in the chat room tonight is Richie Loth. Richie, where are you? Yeah, we're finally back. You know, he hit us up on social media saying, where are you guys at, man? Where have you been? Well, we've been coming on, the past few weeks on Tuesday because I was in class. But class is over and the start of season is beginning. So I'm back and we're back on Thursdays. So I'm sorry that you couldn't find us, Richie, because I was marking you absent every time. Like, damn, Richie not here. That's another absence. And, you get so many absences. That's like a demerit or something. So I'm going to wipe the slate clean because I want you to go into the season with no demerits. Okay, Richie? So I'm going to wipe the slate clean and I'm going to excuse your absences during the time that we were on and you weren't there. So Richie is the first person in the chat room tonight that he says, finally, you mofos are here. Well, thank you, Richie, for welcoming us back. E Money Bentley is watching us on YouTube and he says, go Birds. What's up, E Money? And yeah, go Birds. It's time now. The lights come on in about 8 days? 8 days the lights come on and it's for real. And we get a chance to see our team in action because we haven't seen any of the prominent players of this season, this upcoming season. We haven't seen them in action yet. Mm-hmm. And we get a chance to see them for the first time on that Friday night. Third person in the room is Jeremiah Andrews. He says, what's up, family? What's up, Jeremiah?
What's going on, Jeremiah?
Richie Layton is in the house. He says, what's up, Eagles fam? Can anybody tell me what Richard Layton is drinking? Anybody can tell me that. I mean, Richard, next week, don't put it up there because I want to see who. It'll be a Eagles Talk loyal quiz next week. We'll know who the loyal followers and listeners are of our program if they can guess what Richard Layton is drinking every week because it's the same every week. So he's already put it up there and exposed himself. So it is the Tito's and Ultra Light. Next week, there will be no answers. You're going to have to know this for yourself. And Eddie is in the house. What's up, Eddie? 1 week to go. You're right, Eddie. Eddie is in the house from the West Coast watching us. And I love you guys that you stay tuned in and you stay loyal followers, man. And you guys are from all around. So that just warms my heart that that Bird Gang Nation travels well. That we're represented in almost all 50 states. And they tune in here to hear about their Eagles from us. So I appreciate that. Sue, where have you been? Sue is in the room, and she says, can't wait to see our starters. You're right about that. So I've already introduced our co-hosts. Let's get to the roster. And you guys let me know in the chat room just how you feel about the 53-man roster. Let me know how you feel. And I'm going to go to the quarterbacks first. Quarterbacks are up first. No surprise here. Jalen Hurts, Tanner McGee. Now, I don't see – it's not listed in depth. It's not a depth chart that I have, right? I don't think it is anyway. Maybe it is. No, it can't be because I'm looking at wide receivers. No, it's not a depth chart. So I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Kenny Pickett listed in that order. So it says they're listed in alphabetical order. So it's not a depth chart. So that's no surprise there. We knew that Jalen was going to be making the team, right? We knew that Pickett would make the team and also McKee. Now, in order of depth, I don't know I don't have the depth chart. If
I
you
do,
are
I
looking
have
at
it. I have
something
it
from
for you.
okay, so you
So
have the depth chart. So who is behind Jalen?
so the starting quarterback, no, Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee. That's the order.
Okay, Kenneth Pickett and Tanner McKee. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I'm looking at a copy that is the depth chart. Okay, yeah, you're right. So Pickett and now that's a surprise to me because I don't think Pickett did not wow me, not in the least bit in the preseason. As a matter of fact, I was more impressed with McKee, but I understand maybe that Kenny would be listed second because he has starting uh, NFL starting experience. So maybe that's what got him the nod to be listed as the number 2 quarterback. But Tanner McGee really, to me, outplayed Pickett. He has
Well,
little hands.
that's little hands. But you know what I say is that practice reps mean more than the actual game. Because in a game everything is so vanilla. Like it's you're not game planning for this team. You're not putting out any special plays. During practice, you're doing all the plays in the playbook. You're doing emotions. You're doing the special plays. You're not getting ready for a game, but you are doing what's in the playbook. In the game, you're just doing a vanilla offense. You're not doing too many emotions. You're not showing your hand. So what I can gather, especially from what ESP has said, is Tanner McKee and Kenny Pickett. Even though Tanner McKee looks good in the game, Kenny Pickett has impressed during practice.
Yeah, I'm with this comment right here. I'd rather watch paint dry than to watch Pickett throw the ball 3 yards. That's the biggest knock. I
Well, that's
remember the
exciting.
first.
That's very exciting.
That's exciting. 12 for 17, 67 yards is not exciting. You know what I mean? 12 for 17, 67 yards is not exciting. Stop it, Pat. But hopefully, best case scenario, we won't ever hear of Pickett this year. You know what I mean? We won't have to worry about his 3-yard passes because it'll never come to that. So that's the hope. That's the hope that we have. Let me see. So, all right, there's no surprises there. Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett, McKee. Running back, really no surprises there, not to me anyway. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley. How you feel about our running back room, Pat?
That's the running back room I said at the beginning of the season. I mean, beginning of the training camp is that's who it should be. We don't need to bring in 4 running backs. We're gonna have some practice squad guys. Saquon, Kenny, Will Shipley. That's the room. That's how it should be.
All right, here's another interesting comment, and you may have some substance there. Deshae says they brought Pickett in to show Hurts how to check down.
Nah, they
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe.
Listen, they didn't bring him in there to show him that. They brought Kellen Moore in to show Jalen Hurts that you know what, there's more to the game than just looking deep every single play. There's more to the game. If your number one receiver is not open, your secondary receiver is not open, you can check it down. We have weapons.
We got the check down king. I'm with the Shay. That maybe that's why they brought in Pickett because he definitely knows how to check down. He's the check down king. He's the check down king. Come on.
I get it.
All right. So, all right. There's no surprises with the running back. I'm going off tilter here. All right, let's bring it back. Okay, so Saquon, Kenny Gainwell, and Will Shipley, and I think that's a pretty solid running back room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in trouble if Saquon goes down, but
I truly think that this running back room feeds off one another, and even if I'm not going to speak it in existence, if that was to happen, Kenny Gainwell has showed us enough that he could be a primary running back. He has impressed me. Will Shipley, I watched this kid at Clemson. Like I think he can be a NFL running back, a secondary running back for this team if something should happen. I think we're in good hands with these guys. They're not interchangeable. Don't get me wrong. Saquon is Michael. He is McCaffrey ish. So there's not much that we could say if that does happen. But Gainwell offers you something. Shipley offers you something. It's not like before when after Jordan Howard, we didn't have anybody. We have a running backs. We have a good running back room, and I think we will be fine with this type of offense that we're gonna be running this year.
All right, man. And it's never too early to be fanboys, but damn it, I think you guys have broke the record. You guys are telling me that we'll be fine. There's not going to be much of a drop off if we lose a damn Saquon Barkley, who we've been talking about all off season about getting one of the top running backs in the league, and you're telling me if he goes down that we got a Kenny Gainwell and the Shipley is going to fill their shoes. Then why the hell we get Barkley then? These guys, if we don't, you guys are killing. You're killing me here.
You got it wrong, Dark Knight. It's not the thing that they can replace Saquon. They can't replace Saquon. Nobody can replace Saquon, and the Giants are going to find out that very quickly. All right, I'm just saying they're able to be placeholders. They're not going to replace the production that Saquon could bring to the table. They're going to be able to be placeholders. They're going to be able to hold up this running back room until he comes back, if that was to happen. But I'm not speaking it into existence. That's why you didn't hear me mention it once. All right.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you. All right. That's a good comeback because I'm like, yo, wait a minute. I just said, we in trouble. All right. That was my statement. I said we're in trouble if Saquon goes down. So all right, I'll give you a pass. You were saying that we're not necessarily in trouble. We have some adequate placeholders until he comes back. And I do agree. I do like Shipley. I do. And I like Shipley playing with the second team. Mm-hmm. So I like him even more playing behind the starting offensive line. Because I like what I saw out of him playing with the second team offensive line. Now you get him behind the first team offensive line. I think that people miss that point when we're in preseason. We're seeing a lot of these players playing with the second and third team. And if you can flash or show anything against that on that unit, then that's pretty good. I know that the talent is lesser, but you're running plays behind a less talented offensive line too. So if you can flash with the second string offensive line quarterback, then you should be able to perform a little better running behind the first team offensive line. So I get that. I like Shipley a lot. All right, so running back room, we like that. We give it a thumbs up, right? Wide receiver, there is no a little surprise. We'll go over it. All right, so our six, we decided to keep five wide receivers, and they are A.J. Brown, no surprise there. Devontae Smith, no surprise there. Johan Dotson, no surprise there. Britton Covey, a little bit to me. Johnny Wilson, a little bit to me. These are a little bit not shocking surprises, but mild surprises to me because we had one Paris Campbell and John Ross in the building. These were veterans, right? These were veterans that I thought that at least one of them may catch on just because of their veteran presence. Right. Instead, they decided to keep the young man, a beast of a specimen, 6'6", rookie wide receiver, Johnny Wilson. They decided to keep him on the 53-man roster. Maybe there's some method to this madness there. And Britton Covey, who he was a great punt returner last year.
Yeah, he's
I don't know if those skills were enough to warrant a spot on the 53-man roster, though, because to me, that is all he brings is just his ability to return punts. I don't think that he makes much of a difference or dent in the receiving role. So that was, to me, that was a little surprising to me.
I gotta beg to differ with that one. Dark Knight, I think Covey actually brings some specialty to the actual receiver room. Yes, if his main skill set is returning punts, you know what? When you know he's back there, you know the punt is safe and secure. You know he's gonna catch the ball, no matter how hard he gets hit. He's not going to fumble the ball. Before Covey came here, we had an issue with that, right? We had Quez Watkins back there. We had Jalen Rager back there, and we said we just miss the days at Rio Mahe where he just fair catch and caught everything, right? Well, we got this guy. We got a guy that actually led the NFL in punt return yards. And we got a guy who's may not be super dynamic like a Devin Hester, but he's able to flip the field when you give him an opportunity, give him a chance. Now, the thing about Brenton Covey is that he's learning his role. He's learning that his size can be a big factor in the receiving game, not only in the punt return game, in the receiving game. That he could be a Danny Amendola for the Philadelphia Eagles. I know we picked up Jahan Dotson, and you did the same thing Ike Reese did. You call him Jahan. It's Jahan Dotson, not Jahan. Yes, Jahan.
Johan. I said Johan.
You said Johan. It's Jahan. Jahan Dotson from the Penn State University. So, Jahan is going to be our solid. He's a number 2 or number. He's like a Devontae Smith. He's not on the caliber of Devontae Smith. He was another team. If he was with the Washington Redskins, he was number 2 because Terry McLaurin is definitely number 1. But Jahan Dotson is a step up from any wide receiver room for a number 3 receiver in the league. Period. All right. Period. There is no wide receiver room in the NFL that has these type of receivers that can be guarded by anybody in the NFL. It's not happening.
All right, those that are in the chat room disagree with me, and I take that. I am going to just celebrate because
he catches the ball.
I said mildly surprised. I am because we had, Paris Campbell, John Ross. Did they light the place on fire? No, they did not. But I just think it says something.
I wish we brought back John Ross. I really wish we would.
Yeah, I think, veteran leadership or experience to me means something. So that's all I'm saying. If one of these guys, and it's all about depth, right?
Yes.
Because, heaven forbid that we have to depend on these players. But if it does come down to that, I want to have, just like you talked about with Shipley in the running back room, I want to have capable placeholders. And when you go to the wide receivers, actually, we need more than capable placeholders, because that's the name of the game today, passing the ball, right? So we have an outstanding starting 3 wide receivers. Somebody, something happens. I want a little bit more than a capable placeholder. I want someone that can offer some production.
Well,
so,
I really think Johnny Wilson being 6'6", and I might have said the same thing about Hassan Butler when we had him. That height is unguardable. That height itself outside or even inside of the slot is unguardable. I'm 6'1". I'm the prototype for a corner at 6 foot. 6'1" is like you're a little bit tall for a corner. He's 6'6".
Yeah,
that's unguardable if he's able to play this game. Just look at I'm not comparing him to these guys. I am not comparing to these guys. But look at Megatron. Look at Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens was 6'3", and he was still unguardable. Those guys that can go up and get the football against these corners are unguardable in certain situations. With the skill set that Covey brings, with his ability to change pace, he's able to change pace very, very quickly. He gives you that opportunity to do the inside outside routes. Johnny gives you the opportunity to do those jump balls in the end zone. So if AJ goes down, I want to say that like that. If Devontae or Jahan is not producing, and these guys come in and they're able to produce in the red zone, they carve out a niche for themselves for this offense. And I think they will. At some point, sometime, you will see either Johnny or Covey in at some point in time for this offense.
All right, we're going to end this first quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans, and we are here to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. Don't get it mixed up. That does not always mean alcoholic beverages. If you're an adult and you're drinking a beverage, that's an adult beverage. So enjoy whatever adult beverage you would like. But we do it in the form of shots. Pat is sitting there with a big can of Corona and the go-to Jameson Irish whiskey. We have Richard Layton in the chat room doing the Tito's and ultralight, and myself, I've got this high-powered drink today. I've mixed my apple juice with my cranberry juice, and I hope I can make it through the program. All right, so to our Philadelphia Eagles, let's raise our glasses. And down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, so let me just go to our third co-host. They adamantly disagree with me about the Covey. They love Covey. Brother Wood says Covey is a great route receiver. Eddie has no problem in this order. Covey would have been a solid number 3. He likes Covey as a number 3. If we didn't get, I can't say the guy's first name, but Dotson. I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far. Jahan. Okay, and Brother Wood says he will be where he's supposed to be. But this is what I greatly celebrate more than anything. And I don't wish anyone's demise. I know it's his career and all that. But Quez is no longer on the team. And to me, that's a plus. I'm sorry. To me, that's a plus. Okay. We have been seeing him play in that third wide receiver role, and it's been a waste for the last 2 years. So now, hopefully, we have a player. If he lives up to his ability, his capabilities, we have a splendid number 3 receiver there now. And let's not get this twisted, right? Because we look like some type of all-star team when it comes to wide receivers or some players in skill positions. There's not enough balls to go around.
Pause.
All right.
Pause.
All right. There's not enough balls to go around. So, don't expect everybody's not going to have 1,000 yards. I don't think. I'll be surprised if it happens. But, Dotson, AJ, Smith, Goddard, they're not all going to have 1,000 yards. But I love the options. That's what it gives us. It gives us more options. Now teams are going to have to really decide on who they choose to double cover, because we have double coverage worthy receivers in every spot, and you can't double team everyone. Someone's going to have to get one-on-one coverage, and that's going to bode well for us when that happens. So that's what I'm most excited about. I'm not looking at we're going to, he's going to get 1,000. He's going to get 1,000. There's not enough plays to go around for it to pan out like that. So for me, if Dotson gets me 500-600 yards, 4 touchdowns, I'm good with that. I think that's a productive year. Well, 5 touchdowns. Yeah, I think that's a productive year because he's going to be out there for other reasons also. He's going to be a bigger decoy threat than Quez was, since he has that speed, but he will catch the ball when you throw it to him. So when you throw it to him, he's going to catch it. But I'm going to start. We're going to go to the next position group as I try to get this camera right, or I'm not going to have any footage for social media this week if I don't get back on camera. So, Pat, I'll let you go over the tight ends as I come out and come back.
All right, for the tight ends, it's simple. Dallas Goddard and Grant Carcaterra. I can't say his last name, just like Dark Knight couldn't say Jahan. It's Grant Carcaterra. Listen, we don't really need too much of our tight ends as long as Dallas Goddard is staying healthy. That's a big key this year. Stay healthy, stay relevant in this offense. Grant has shown promise within our offense. He's able to do different things, and he's able to be very productive in this offense as a blocker and a catcher. So we need Dallas and Grant to work in Tennessee. You there? Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
We need them to work.
And this time I'm black. We can't do it.
We need them two to work in unison. Yes, there may be some times where we elevate. I know we didn't go over the practice squad yet, but EJ Jenkins is on the practice squad. And we did bring back Jack Stowe, so there may be some opportunities where we elevate these guys onto the 53-man roster for game days, and we will have 3 tight ends on some games, but other times we will not. We need Dallas and Grant to step the games up. That's it. No, nothing else meant to be said.
Yeah, nothing else meant to be said on the tight ends. I think that, Dallas Goddard is a very good tight end. Calcaterra is a solid number 2.
That's solid.
Reports out of training camp. He's had a solid camp catching the ball, and that bodes well because Kellen Moore likes to use a 2 tight end set, and he doesn't necessarily run out of that either. He likes to throw the ball out of the 2 tight end sets, which is against what most of the NFL does when they run a 2 tight end set. It's usually a run, but Kellen Moore likes to throw out of that. So you have to have a second tight end that is able to catch the ball. So he's doing better in that area. We know what Goddard can do. So I think we're solid in tight ends. Solid in tight ends. Let's move on to our offensive line, starting with the tackles. Tackles in this order: Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, starters, left, right. Fred Johnson and Darian Kennard are the backups. That's cool, right?
That's cool. Listen, they talk about us moving, having another tackle. We supposed to have like 10 offensive linemen. We have 9. Right now we're set. There's no other conversation about who else we should have there. The only person I think we should kept on the offensive line was Brett Tooth, and we brought him back for the to the practice squad. But that's all. That's all I think we should have there.
All right, and he said we had 9, so let's round out the rest of the offensive line. The guards are Landon Dickerson, Mekhi Becton, Tyler Steen, Trevor Keegan, our rookie Trevor Keegan, and we have one center, Cam Jurgens. Now, that being said,
we got one center. That's scary.
Yeah, one center. Yeah, that is scary. What do you feel about this offensive line as compared to last year's offensive line coming out of training camp? More talented, less talented? Are we better or not better than we were last year coming out of camp?
So it's hard to say that because when you have the addition of Jason Kelsey at the center position, you give a lot of you got a Hall of Famer there basically, and his ability to do what he's able to do there at the center position is what a lot of us to do the tush push. But did his knowledge and his ability hinder the growth of Jalen Hurts to be able to make different calls of what he's seen? I think so. I think we catered more or less to Jason Kelsey because he had the ability to change the play and say no, go here. We saw one in the NFL Network Films thing where he said no, keep it on, right? But Jalen saw something different, and I think we have to start letting our quarterback do those things and see those things and be the quarterback that we want him to be. Now, Cam Jurgens is no rookie. He played last year, and he played pretty damn good. When we saw him play center, we saw glimpses of a rookie-ish type Jason Kelsey. How he got out there and knocked these linebackers and other people down, and how he was so strong on the point of attack. We thought that Cam Jurgens was the, quintessential replacement for Jason Kelsey, and he is. We got much bigger at the guard position. Mekhi Becton
is huge.
It's compared. He's the second biggest person on the offensive line. All right.
Yeah, he's
at
huge.
6'6", like 370. All right, he's huge. He came out in the draft and he's a number one pick. He's a first round draft pick. I think it was at number 6 or something like that. It was just crazy. But he came out as a tackle. He's in Stoutland University as a guard. You know what that means? He's going to be outstanding in that position.
I tend to agree with you on that. That Stout does elevate the game of every offensive lineman he gets his hands on. It's just the proof is in the pudding. That's his track record. He elevates the game of every offensive lineman that he gets his hands on. So I don't doubt that. But if I had to say which line was more talented, this line is not as talented as last year. And it's all predicated upon we just lost a Hall of Famer. We just lost a Hall of Famer. Now, I'm not saying this line is chopped liver, but until we see it, if I'm just looking at it on paper, I have to say that last year's line was more talented. Cam Jurgens, like you said, was a beast at that guard position last year, and we had a Hall of Fame center who knew what he did. You know, we knew what we were getting. He knew the game, and that's gone now. That's gone now, and we have to depend on Cam Jurgens. And I think he is solid, but we don't know if he's a Hall of Famer yet. We have to see that.
I want to ask you this, Dark Knight. I want to ask you this real quick. So this is Cam Jurgens' second season, right?
Right.
So when we had Jason Kelsey in his second season, he was still a backup. Did we have the Hall of Famer Jason Kelsey in his second or third season?
I'm sorry, say again.
Did we have the Hall of Famer that we saw last year in Jason Kelsey in his second or third season?
In Hurts' second or third season?
No. Jason Kelsey's second and third season.
Oh no, we did not. We didn't know who he was.
So we're comparing a Hall of Famer to a guy that's in his second, third season. So that's what we got to do the comparison to, not to the Hall of Famer Jason Kelsey, to the actual season. So Cam Jurgens will be a very dynamic center for us. I have no questions about that. He's learning from the best. And Jason Kelsey's in that doggone practice facility every week. So he's learning from the best. He played with the best. And he's going to end up being one of the better centers in the league. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best center in the league. It's better centers in the league.
And I think that his trajectory is along that line, also being a very solid and a great center. But I'm just comparing now this line to last year's line. And with this line last year with the Hall of Famer, who was a Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? He was already a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? We don't know what Cam is going to be. I think he's going to be solid, but we just lost a Hall of Famer.
We did.
We just lost a Hall of Famer.
But Dark Knight,
that's it. Hands down right there.
Again,
so you're telling me that this line compared to last year's line is more talented.
It's not more talented, but I think with the addition of our offensive coordinator in what was put in place, we're going to be a little bit better than we were last year. The reason being, last year we didn't pick up the blitz. When they zero blitz, that's how talented our offensive line was. We couldn't pick up the blitz.
Well, I think that was more on that was more on the offensive coordinator to me with not giving the offense options when the blitz came. No, you got to give, because zero blitz is when there's more people coming in than you can block. Correct. Right?
That's identifying.
So how do you?
And they gave the center the responsibility to identify who was coming. Now the responsibility is on the quarterback this year moving forward, and that's why Jalen Hurts went over 300 passes in training camp before he threw an interception. Now, he's not a world.
You're making my point for me.
Man.
I said it was the offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is giving Jalen Hurts options. The offensive coordinator was not giving Jalen Hurts options last year. Mm-hmm. He had no hot routes. He didn't give him options on how to handle the zero blitz when it came, and they just did more and more of it. And the stats showed he was the worst quarterback QBR in the league against blitzes.
He was.
So I think that's going to be vastly improved. I can't put all of that on the offensive line because that's what zero blitzes are designed to do. We're going to send more people than they have people to block them. So every offensive lineman could have been blocking the person they were assigned to block. There still was going to be someone or some ones, twos, or more than one person that was going to be coming that wasn't going to be accounted for. So, I don't blame them for the failure of picking up the zero blitzes. I blame the offensive coordinator for not having options on what to do, and it was just evident. The later the season went, the more the season went on, the more we saw blitzing. The more we saw no adjustment to the zero blitz.
Yeah.
That's on the OC. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing put in place after you saw it for 4 games straight to say, all right, we've got to address this. So now I think we have an offensive coordinator that does.
I get what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying, and I understand the significance of what our coordinators did. But with the coordinators last year, they were trash, and I include Sirianni into this. Together, they were trash. They were terrible. They didn't offer anything to our scheming that we needed. Everything in the middle of the field, they didn't utilize nothing in the middle of the field, actually. So, I just want to move on to the defense because we getting long.
All right, yeah, let's go. We're getting longer too. Let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're watching Eagles Talk, man. Football season is 8 days away. Our Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Green Bay Packers in 8 days, and this 2024-25 season will be underway, a season in which we hopefully will find our way back to the Super Bowl and capture our second Super Bowl championship. That's what we are hoping for. That's what we are looking for. But it all starts with the first game next week. You're watching us, Eagles Talk, as we talk about the 53-man roster and how you guys feel going into that first game of the week. And we're doing it in such a relaxed manner that we're enjoying our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat is doing the Corona and his shot of Jameson Irish whiskey. I am doing a powerful concoction myself, apple juice and cranberry juice, and boy, oh boy, is it refreshing. All right, so here we go. Everybody out there, raise your glass and cup to our Philadelphia Eagles as we take it down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, so everybody is comfortable with who we retained for the 53-man roster on offense. No big surprises there. I did say mild surprise on the receiver end, but it's just a mild surprise, but no big surprises there, right? That offense is still our most powerful unit on the team in my eyes, right? To me, I think that a lot of the responsibility of this team's success is going to fall on the shoulders of the offense, right? So I'm happy to see what Kellen Moore will do with this offense. I'm so eager to see hearing that Jalen had a great training camp, great preseason. I'm looking for it to translate into the regular season and the real life games, not to throw as many interceptions as he threw last year, having an answer for the blitz. So we're solid. We're solid on the offense. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, we'll judge it together. All right, so first position, we kept 6 edge rushers, and those edge rushers in order of depth are Bryce Huff,
Yes.
Josh Sweat,
Starters.
Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith,
Second team.
Jalix Hunt, and Patrick Johnson. How do you feel about those edge rushers, Pat? Are we set? Can we go get the quarterback?
Unlike Baldy said, Patrick Johnson has earned that position. He has earned the position on a 53-man roster by how hard he is playing during preseason and during practice. Jalix Hunt has been a pleasant surprise. His ability to get around the corner and make plays as a rookie. Brandon Graham, I think he's going to surprise us this year. he's going to be close to double-digit sacks in his situational pass rush. Bryce Huff, he actually looked pretty doggone good when he was in the game. Josh Smith, Sweat. I'm sorry, all these names get mixed up when you've been drinking. Josh Sweat, right? I said all the names for the former Eagles. Josh Huff, Josh. So Josh Sweat, if he could play up to his level of 2 years ago, I think we should have good defensive pass rush. Now, like Baldy said, he's asking the question, where is the pass rush coming from? I don't necessarily think it's coming from these defensive edge rushers. I think the ability of Vic Fangio of having exotic looks will create different openings for different defensive linemen and linebackers within this defense. And I'm hoping that will happen. So it's no surprise to me what we have for our edge rushers. This is what we need for our edge rushers.
All right, so you're solid with those edge rushers. You're
Yes.
okay with that. You think that they are capable. They I don't know. And on the surface, they don't look better than last year, do they?
Without Hassan Reddick, yeah, they don't look better than Hassan Reddick, who gives you at least double digit sacks. But sometimes you gotta turn that page and look for some better players. I'm not calling any of these players Hassan Reddick because none of them are Hassan Reddick ish. Do they have the ability? Yes. Nolan Smith, he doesn't have any type of technique. He relies on his speed. If he was to work on all season to work how to use his hands and be more of a technical rusher, he could be dominant in his league with his speed and the ability to do different things. So each rusher gives you a different ability. Bryce Huff has the power, he has the speed, and he has the ability to be that every damn pass rusher. Brandon Graham, we know what he is, right? He's that 3 and D type defensive end. We can literally leave him out there, even though he's up there in age. They say we shouldn't leave him out there. We can literally leave him out there on first, second, and third down because he has that ability. Josh Sweat is a specialty player. He has become better at the run attack than before. And Jalen Hunt is going to be a surprise. Jalen Hunt is going to be a big surprise this year. I think he has the opportunity to win Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm
Hmm.
saying this right now. That's his
Wow,
ability.
that
That's his
says a lot.
ability.
That says a lot.
That's
All
his
right,
ability. His ability is Defensive Rookie of the Year. Patrick Johnson is going to be a solid player when you play him in the game. He's gonna be a high motor guy who's going to play his behind off to try to get everything done for everybody.
all right. And my take on it is that you're right. We don't have an Hassan Reddick out there, someone who is a proven elite pass rusher, right? But you know my saying, no one was anybody until they became somebody, right? So it started, Hassan wasn't even Hassan until he started doing Hassan like things.
Boom. I like that.
So we have some pass rushers that have the potential to make their mark on this game starting this year. Starting with Huff. I mean, Huff had a come out season last year. We're going to find out whether that was a fluke or not. We have people with potential, and the only thing that they have against them is that they're not proven yet. They're not proven. So we have some question marks on whether they can do it, right? But when you look at them and look at their ability, they do have the ability to be good pass rushers. We just have to wait and hope that they live up to the capabilities that we believe that they have. I like Hunt. I heard some great things about Hunt. I heard that Hunt is ahead of schedule because Hunt is a rookie. He's ahead of schedule, so that's great to see. That's great to hear. Rather, Hunt is
Well,
ahead of schedule.
he's a former safety. All right, he's a former safety that had a growth spurt that grew into being a defensive end slash outside linebacker. When you have those guys that have that mentality of being out in space, they could, if they're able to develop different skills inside the interior line, they could be very special. Dark Knight.
So we have him, and this is a rotational thing too. So Bryce Huff is going to have a more prominent role in our defense than he had in the Jets defense. He was a situational player. He's going to have a more prominent role this year, but we have such a solid group of rotating edge rushers that he may be playing around the same amount of snaps. So if that's the case, he can still be as effective as he was, right? Mm-hmm. All right, but I don't want to leave. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the edge rushers. Let's get to the defensive tackles because we got to tie it all back together, right? So defensive tackles, we chose to keep 6. Those 6 are Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, your starters. Solid. Milton Williams, Moro Ajomo, Marion, I can't even begin to pronounce his last name.
Alopo.
Tuipulopo. I can't.
There you go.
All
you
right.
just said it. You
and
just said it. You literally said it.
All right. Anyway, Thomas Booker the 4th is our last defensive tackle. I think that is a solid unit, right? I think Jalen Carter is that guy.
Thomas Booker is a surprise, big surprise.
He's a big surprise. Well, I think Milton Williams has been solid since he's been here. So Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Marlon has had a solid year last year. I think that, again, with this defensive line, is it as talented? Is the defensive tackles are as talented as last year? Not, because we had a Hall of Famer that just retired again to me. But, again, these guys have the potential. And, again, nobody is anybody until they become somebody. So now we have Jalen Carter, who showed the first half of last year that he's a problem. He just has to put a full season together. But he's a problem. Jordan Davis, we're still waiting on him, but he is a solid dude in the middle. Milt Williams, I think, is even better than that right now. I think Milt Williams is better than Jordan Davis right there.
I don't think so. I think Jordan Davis is going to have a monster year.
Okay.
I think Milt Williams is a solid player. He's always been a solid player.
Yes.
He's been a solid player since he came into the league for us. But also, I got to say this. To Lupo, he did get released today, and we did add a claim into the Las Vegas Raiders defensive tackle, Brian Young. We got him off of the Raiders. He's a 24-year-old who played football at Alabama. He was selected by the Raiders. He's a 3rd-round pick in the 2023 draft. He has played 99 snaps in over 6 games as a rookie.
We cut I'm sorry, go on.
We cut
Marlon.
We cut Marlon. They're probably gonna bring him back to the practice squad so they can add him to the game day roster because he has been productive for us. He has been Marlon.
Yes, he had a good year last year.
But we had to release somebody, and we're about to get into the linebackers and the corners and the safeties and the surprise. So, I mean, I just want to get that out the way so we can go ahead and
all right, let's go then. Let's move it on. Right. All right, so those are the D tackles. Our linebackers, we decided to keep 5. And those linebackers are Devin White, Zach Bond, no surprise there. N'Kobe Dean, no surprise there. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., no surprise there. And Ben Van Simmeren. I thought he had a solid preseason. What do you think about it? I thought he had a solid preseason, yeah.
So Ben Simmeren reminds me of the linebacker from the Patriots. I cannot remember his name right now. Who actually played offense too. Because he was a fullback in high school and in college. So I think he's going to get some snaps on the offensive side of the ball as fullback in different situations. Like, I don't think we have saw the full weight of what our offense is going to do with certain paid players. I think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter is going to be something different.
And we lost him. He got picked up.
Who?
Oh. I'm looking at the chat room. I'm sorry.
He might have got picked up. I mean, if he goes to
God.
Jacksonville, I see it right now. I'm about to check the stuff right now.
No, you keep talking. I'll check.
All right. So yeah. So I don't know where I was, but the linebackers, that's who we are. It's nobody extra on the linebackers that you know. Basically, we're holding the spot for N'Kobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Devin White is going to be outstanding in how we play our defense. We got to be attacking downhill. Zach Bond, Orton Brown, who made our practice squad, got elevated. And I'm gonna talk about it when we talk about the cornerbacks. He got elevated. So, we have some linebackers that can make plays. They just had to be very particular and play the game like it should be played.
All right. Anybody know anything about Byron Young? Because we just cut someone who we said was much improved last year in place of this third round pick from a 2022, and he was a star in college, second team All-American. His final season in college, he was first team All SEC, and that says a lot. SEC is like, they are a beltway for NFL players. So, anybody know any background on him? Is he that good, or are we just seeing that somebody knows that he has some potential? Obviously, to do that, to make a move like that, because that's kind of big. We cut Marlon and picked him up off waivers. So why didn't Las Vegas, why didn't they see that in him? I don't know. But that's where we are. That's where we are.
Las Vegas. What you talking about? It's
All
Las
right,
Vegas.
they suck. All right, so their mishap is we're benefiting from that. Okay, we'll see. All right, so cornerbacks, one of the biggest battles in the training camp of this year, one of the most improved positions on our team from last year and years prior. Now we have a slew of talented cornerbacks, and I was wondering how they were going to do this, because you don't want to get rid of a good young talent. And I think they did a good job in selecting the group that they selected. So those cornerbacks are Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Quinyon Mitchell, Kaylee Ringo, Cooper DeJean, and Eli Ricks. How you think they made the right selections there,
No.
Pat? No? Oh, wait. Talk about
All
it.
right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Eli Ricks should no disrespect to him. All right, he's gonna go out there. He's gonna show it to us. But Eli Ricks, I don't think should have been on this team.
And who do you think should have been in his place?
So I think we should went with Paris Campbell or John Ross in that position.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All
So
right.
he went. I thought you were going to name another
No,
corner.
I was going to name another corner because Josh Jobe, the experiment of Josh Jobe, their experiment of Eli Ricks should have been over. But of course, I'm not in the GM position, so I'm not going to sit there and say that they, you brought in Perry Nicholson, and I thought that maybe he could make the position over Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks has an issue of grabbing.
Yeah, he's very handsy.
Very handsy. So is Josh Jobe. That's why he got released.
Made it without a pause. Okay. All right. So
Sean Stevenson. All right, let me get this one. Sean Stevenson was a guy they targeted for an undrafted rookie free agent. He didn't get many opportunities. But Ricks is just a special team guy. He's more or less a special teams guy, and that's how you make a team. Sometimes you got to be special in a special teams room. I'm on. I'm sorry.
All right.
This liquor's got me.
All right, the liquor's got Pat.
Yo, cut
all
that
right,
out.
so
Cut out don't put that in the podcast.
All right, okay. I mean, I'll cut it off for the audio. All right. I love this room here, cornerback room, because this position group right here. Well, let me finish with the safety. I'm gonna finish with the entire secondary before I make this statement. All right, so our safeties, we kept 5: Reed Blankenship, C.J. G.J., James Bradbury, Avante Maddox, and Tristan McCullum. solid group there. And that's not to mention we still have a solid young player who's coming back off an injury, is not ready to play yet, but Sidney Brown. So I think we have a nice safety room there, right? And you've heard today James Bradbury had a serious knee injury. They were talking about 6 to 8 weeks. Somebody put in the chat room that it's the end of the season. I don't know. But whatever the case, he's not going to be playing beginning this season here. So
I can confirm they put him on IR.
Okay, so they put him in high, but I don't think they put him on season-ending IR, right? Because there's season-ending.
They can convert it to.
Right.
All right. They can convert it to.
And he was proven to be a capable backup. So with Reed Blankenship, CJGJ, Bradbury, he was growing into a capable. So anyway, without him, he's not there. Reed Blankenship, CJGJ are starters. You got Avonte Maddox, who has proven that he can play safety and has done so. He's a backup. We have Sidney Brown that probably will be back. I would give him another month maybe that he may be back because he was doing a lot of things in training camp. Just the time period. Just those injuries just need time sometimes. Yeah. So he's going to be back this year. So I think our safety room is okay. Okay. I like CJGJ coming back. Reed Blankenship he's just all right. He's solid. He's not, not anything that jumps out at me. He doesn't, he doesn't scare me.
CJGJ. So I'm gonna say this.
CJG. I'm talking about Blankenship. On the covering aspect, he's a little bit of a liability.
On a branch. What are you talking about, Dion?
What Dion say?
I'm sipping these drinks. So CJGJ, yes, I think he brings more experience to this defensive backfield. Reed Blankenship, he's more or less the strong safety of our defense. We don't customize our defense like that any longer. In the NFL, you don't have a free safety and strong safety no more. Like back in the day, you had a free safety designation, you had a strong safety designation. You don't have that no longer. But Reed Blankenship is the strong safety of the defense. He's the John Lynch of the defense. All right.
Yeah.
CJ Gardner Johnson is going to take those different things and make opportunities happen. That's what he do. He makes opportunities happen. Avonte Maddox moving back to safety, he gives you the best of both worlds. Remember we had Malcolm Jenkins?
Yeah.
So Malcolm Jenkins was drafted as a corner. He had to convert to safety, and he didn't realize his worth until he was brought over here and realized that he can be both a safety and an outside corner at the same time. So we don't need Avonte Maddox being uber aggressive. We need you understanding situations and making sure you understand where your man is going and not being out of place when you're playing that safety position. Tristan McCullum has earned the position to be on the 53-man roster. He has earned that.
All right, that's from a former secondary player. I give you that. So now let me tie it in because I like the secondary. Corners a little bit more than I like the safeties, but I like the collective group of our secondary. I think it's much improved from last year, and therein lies where we're going to get the pressure from the cornerback. We're going to get the D-line, the edge rushers are going to eat because these guys can cover. These guys can cover. They're going to give them a second or two longer to get to that quarterback.
Yes, they are.
We all know that the secondary works in conjunction with that pass rush. It helps that pass rush out. And this year, I think our secondary is going to be a huge help to giving those guys up front just that little bit longer to get to the quarterback. And if we could take anything from the preseason, I know we saw a lot of vanilla things from Vic, but it seems to me that I think Vic is going to turn up the heat in the kitchen this year. you're going to see a more aggressive pass rush this year from our boys. And that excites me. That excites me because if you hurry up the pace of the quarterback, that's a recipe for some turnovers. And we have those guys. We have the guys in the secondary that will convert those mishaps into turnovers. So I'm excited. And I'm excited about the unit that has the biggest question mark to me because I'm okay. I'm pleased with what we have on offense. And I just said that they are going to shoulder most of the weight for this team's success this year. I don't know what I'm going to get from the defense, but I have a good feeling that this defense is going to be much improved from last year. And with the turnovers and the pass rush being what I predict them or project them to be, I think this team is going to be a solid team. Now, I don't want to discount the rest of the 53-man roster, so let me just say that our kicker is Jake Elliott, our long snapper is Rick Lovato, and our punter is Brandon Mann. And that rounds out the 53-man roster. And with that, you guys let me know, how confident are you? Right now in the chat room, let me know, how confident are you with this team going into this season?
We got to stay healthy. That's my confidence level. If we stay healthy, we got to stay healthy.
Yeah, definitely.
If we stay healthy, I see this team going 15-2, 16-1.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's what the schedule allows.
I'm with Dion now. It's like, no. Hold up. No. I'm with Mob. That's enough for Pat. It's like, no, 15-2.
I got one
16-1.
Look what I got right. Look what I got right here.
Oh, Blanton's. Oh, you can't do that. Outside of injuries, Dion said he's crazy confident. James Edgefield says we are Super Bowl bound. Richie says chip right there. That's what I'm talking about. I feel good. I feel good about this team coming out, and we are going to be put to the test immediately.
Right.
I mean, we don't have a gauntlet schedule as we had last year, which to me, it makes the path or the road easier because we had a hell of a gauntlet schedule last year, right? And prior to falling apart, we were 10-1. And that was when, the offensive coordinator and them didn't know what the hell they were doing. We were 10-1 with coordinators that didn't know what the hell they were doing. Imagine what we're going to be with coordinators that do know what the hell they're doing. And this amount of talent here. Yes, it remains to be seen, some question marks on defense, but I think that those young guys or those unproven guys are going to show us something. They're going to prove themselves this year, and that's going to be a key to the success of this team this year. Along with Kellen Moore and this offense, and Jalen Hurts is going to be a key figure in our success this year, learning how to be a playmaker, a point guard out there. We don't need him to be – he doesn't have to play a lot of hero football this year. He doesn't have to run for 75 yards and all that. He has enough skilled players to all he has to do is just distribute the ball. Be a point guard. Just give the ball to the guys that's going to make the plays. Throw it up to AJ if he has one-on-one, Devontae. If they're covered, check it down to Saquon. Let him do his thing. Just put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. You don't have to play hero ball. You don't have to try to beat the blitz yourself. Kellen Moore's giving you some options here. Use those options. I think we're going to have a splendid year. But like I said, we are being thrown into the fire early because Green Bay, playoff team last year, dynamic young quarterback, they're going to be ready week 1, so we have to be ready week 1. That's going to be a test. The next week, Atlanta Falcons, I view them as a Detroit Lions 2 years ago type team. 2 years ago, before Detroit are legitimate contenders now, but 2 years ago, as they were making their ascension, they were dangerous. And I see Atlanta in that same type of role. They have some players on offense.
Yeah,
defense is coming up, right? So they're in that like Detroit Lions of 2 years ago role. So that's not going to be anything to sneeze at. The Saints, We have the Saints and we have the and Tampa Bay. Not so tough a task.
I think I really think we got something for Tampa Bay. We have a whipping for those Tampa Bay Buccaneers that they're not going to expect from the Philadelphia Eagles.
And we owe it to them.
Yeah.
They campaign for this ass whipping that we're about to put on them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're voting them in. They campaign for it, and we're voting them an ass whipping. so we got to give it to them. But man, look, I enjoyed this evening here.
Did we go to the fourth quarter? We even go to the fourth quarter yet?
Yeah, but we're over the limit. I don't know. I think we can cut it short.
They hear the fans are here. They want Eagles talk. They've been missing Eagles talk, and it's time to give them at least 3 minutes.
All right. We're going to give them a whole 4 quarters. Sorry, end the quarter then. We'll give them a short.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you're watching Eagles Talk, listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show around that's by Eagles fans and for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl contending Philadelphia Eagles. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And Pat is pouring the Blantons. Wow.
You see how I poured a lot. I poured
he poured. And this is the most interesting part of the podcast, because when we get to the fourth quarter, and I used to be there with Pat, when we get to the fourth quarter, to be able to articulate anything after 4 shots, it's an art. It's an art to be able to do that. Forget the broadcast journalists on TV and all that. They're talking sober. Pat has done 4 shots, and he's still articulating himself and still energetic and passionate about his Philadelphia Eagles. So we like to do that in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat is doing the Blantons now. He's switched from the Jameson Irish whiskey. I am doing a very strong concoction myself, apple juice and cranberry juice mixed. And don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. Okay, so anyway, here we are to our Philadelphia Eagles. Raise your glass. And down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the
Fourth quarter. Oh, deep. Abdul Rahim is drinking a Don Julio 7 Cristalino Ajejo. That is some good stuff. All right, so JT is in the chat room. JT was a little late, a little JT? Quiet too. JT, what's up?
I saw JT down New Orleans, man, but circumstances didn't get an opportunity to go meet him again. JT,
okay.
I see you again down there, bro.
All right, so that sounds like they had a very good time. All right, let me go to some comments. I'll back it up a little bit. Daniel says Lido and Shep feels like Q and Dijon. Yeah, they do feel like that. The only difference is that these guys are getting thrown into the fire a lot sooner than Lido and Shep did, and they came behind. Well, these guys are much more. They're needed more than Lido and Shep was when they came in. Lido and Shep were coming behind some very solid cornerbacks themselves, so we had the luxury of bringing them along slowly. But they were coming behind Troy Vincent and
Sheldon Brown.
Troy Vincent and the tall D-back.
Sheldon Brown.
No, Sheldon Brown. Mm-hmm. No, actually Lido, and he said Lido and Shep. Lido was Lido Shepard. It was Lido and Sheldon. Lido and Sheldon. Right. Brown.
They came
behind Bobby. Troy
Moore,
Vincent and Bobby.
Bobby Tiller and Troy
Bobby
Vincent.
Teller.
Yes.
So we had a little luxury of being able to bring them along slowly. All right, so Daniel had me a little confused. It's Lido and Sheldon. Yeah. Feels like Q and Dijon, but we need Q and Dijon a lot. We need them immediately. I mean, we still have Slay, but Bradbury had lost it. He had lost it, and we needed to find some quality secondary players immediately. And Howie did a hell of a job going to get not 1 but 2 solid young guys, and I can't wait to see these guys. We've seen glimpses of Q already in the preseason, right? But I can't wait to see them when the lights come on.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing in the preseason, one thing in practice. It's a different ball game when the lights come on. The one thing that I do like about them, and I talked about it earlier, is that they are getting they're getting very effective reps in practice. They're not practicing against, Quez Watkins and and what's my man and Jordan Matthews. They're not practicing against
Ward,
Quez and Greg Ward and stuff. They're going up against top elite receivers in the league. So they're getting effective reps when they're in practice. They're getting life learning lessons in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So that bodes well for them. So I think they'll do well when the lights come on that Friday night. And I can't wait for the lights to come on. My man is trying to get me to agree to go over to Brazil. I kind of want to, but I just saw a report that they tripping over there. They are tripping. I don't think
they are.
I don't want.
I am not. Listen,
I'm not going to. I love Philly, but I live in Delaware now, and they seem like they're a little more dangerous than Philly. So they're a little more scary over there.
They're the number 7th biggest city in America. Number 7 in America. I mean, I'm sorry. They're number 7th biggest city in the world.
Wow.
In the world. They are crazy right now. There's a fire going on over there.
Yeah.
There's other things going over there. And
the crime is crazy.
Just like AJ Brown said, when the security briefed them on what they can do, they can't do nothing. They stay in their hotel room and wait to the game. After the game, they go back to the hotel room and they fly out. That's all they do.
Yeah, now that does not seem like an environment that I'm going to have a lot of fun in. So I think I'm gonna stay home. And I text my buddy and was like, "Nah, I think I'm out. I don't think I want to go."
Yeah.
I'll be watching it right here with you guys.
I did want to go. I got a favorable price to go down there. They haven't watched a show at the Bills at the Lincoln Financial Field. I'm still not going to that.
Yeah, no, we gotta put on the show. So we're not going. I was going to go, but and the proof is in the pudding, because I talked to a friend of mine at an outing this past weekend. Mm-hmm. He's going. He said his nosebleed seats were $500+.
That's making
right
sense.
Now those nosebleed seats are $170-something. So the news of the what's going on over there is getting out. So and now the ticket prices are dropping. Ooh, so that's not a good indication also.
Dark Knight.
It's very affordable, but I'm not going. No. They got fires. I might be all right from the fires, right? I think that they would protect the Americans coming over to watch an NFL football game, because it's just not good business, right? So they would protect us from the fires. The crime, I think they would try their best to do that too, but as in any city, you go the wrong place and it could be a problem, right? So I'm the crime has me on an out, and on top of that, they said that their airborne diseases are up over there. So that really just put it.
All right,
okay, so, no, I'm not going over there. Not going over there.
I got some news for you. My ass here in Philly.
I think I would do that too.
Real quick, Dark Knight. We did get some updates on roster transactions. I don't know if we talked about it yet. With the with putting James Bradbury on the IR, we elevated Owen Brown. What's his name? What's his name? Oh, no, it's Owen Burks. I'm sorry. Owen Burks got elevated to the active roster. We signed Brett Tooth to the practice squad. If y'all guys want to, if everybody want to know the practice squad, I can give you that real quick. The practice squad for our Philadelphia Eagles. Well, let me do this real quick. The changes of numbers. This is very important because everybody buys jerseys. Quentin Mitchell changed his number from 30 to 27, his college number. Will Shipley went from 39 to number 28. Jahan Dotson is number 28. Practice squad changes. Caden Stearns went from 37 to number 30. Adrian Sands went from 35 to 31. Marcus Roseby Jake Saint is number 43. He's a wide receiver at number 43. That's weird.
Yeah, well,
Jack
you gonna have
Stowe.
those weird numbers now.
Jack Stowe is number 83. And do you have the practice squad? I do have the practice squad somewhere right here. Here it is.
All right,
And
why you do that?
I got it right here.
Go ahead.
You want it? For our practice squad, we have Paris Campbell, Teron Davis Price, Nick Gates, Will Greer, quarterback, Gabe Hall, EJ Jenkins, Dylan McMahon, Marcus Roseby, Jenk Saint, wide receiver, Andre Sand, Brandon Smith, Caden Stearns, Jack Stowe, Brett Tooth, and we got an international exemption, Lincoln Velatali.
Okay, what's up, Don? Don, that's my man. Don, where did we meet? We met at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Was that it, Don? If this the right guy, Don, you're the Penn Stater, right?
Shout out to
Don,
Penn
long
State.
time,
We are.
long time friend of the show, man.
We
If
are.
I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I am wrong. But yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, see, I got a good memory. Boy, see, that's why I read all the time to keep my memory up. All right, so how's your son doing up there? Because his son went to Penn State too. He should be in his what, junior year? Junior year, Don? Just your son, or is it senior year? He's up at Penn State too. So like father, like son, he sent his boy up there. You know, we're Penn State fans here. Your older brother went to Penn State.
He's a senior.
Oh, he's a senior. Yep. See,
Yeah.
I
We all
follow.
State, so Penn State is a good school to go to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Saquon and Jahan. Penn State.
Yeah, we got Penn Staters on the squad now. So yeah, no, I'm not going over there. I'm not going to wind up missing. And you know, over in Brazil, I could be confused as a native. You know, they have darker skinned people over there. So
They good.
I can't wear. You know, where am I going to go where the first report came out that you can't wear green? That's a gang color. Like who was the brilliant person who decided we're going to have an NFL game over in a country where the gang members wear green, and both of the teams that we send over there wear green also. Both of the teams, not one, but both of the teams. One even has green in their name. Like, who was the brilliant person who came up with that? I'm not going over there. I want to wear my jersey. I don't want to get killed for wearing my jersey.
So Green Bay has a turn of all white uniform.
Yeah, I know. I figured they would wear them.
I think the NFL is letting us wear our all black uniform.
So all black and all, yeah. But what about the fans? We don't have all whites.
That's on the fan.
You know what I'm saying?
That's on the fan.
Like, yeah. Then you know.
So you got to understand something before you travel. You got to understand where you're going. Understand what the rules and the regulations and the culture is before you travel when you go through overseas. You like if I'm going to Africa, I know I can't wear certain things. If I'm going to Brazil, I can't wear certain things. I'm going to Mexico, I can't wear. If I go to California, if I go to
Pat,
LA,
you're talking, you're preaching to the choir. We're Philadelphia Eagle fans from
listen,
Philadelphia.
I ain't
You don't have
wearing
to.
no red,
You got to
I ain't
adhere
wearing
to
no
that when
blue.
you come to Philly to go to the link. You've got to know where you're going and who and what the customs are there, because you can really get yourself in a lot of trouble or even hurt if you come to Philadelphia wearing the wrong colors. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in Philadelphia. So look, I'm not going over to Brazil. I'll be here. I will be broadcasting the game as I started last year. I started doing play-by-play on game days, so you can watch the game with me after the pregame show. Pat and Michelle, they go watch the show. They go watch the game, and I stay on the air and I do a play-by-play. And last year, I had a lot of people join me. We had a lot of fun. and some funny things comes up when I'm watching the game and how I commentate or comment on the game. So we're going to continue that tradition this year. So make sure you guys tune in. We are looking forward to having a big year on Eagles Talk this year. Merch is coming, so I will be letting you guys know about that. You know,
I like that.
my stickers. You know what I'm saying? We got merch coming, so I'll be putting that out soon. And we're looking forward to having a very exciting and productive year where we are all going to enjoy watching our Philadelphia Eagles together and enjoy talking about it after and before the games. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight, from my co-host Pat and Nichelle in her absence. Yo, we out of here.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback, yo, sack that fool. Hit him,